places like the Middle East with ISIS and all the other stuff going on is because there are so many people that still believe that your own kind stay with your own kind. And when you look at these groups like ISIS, these terrorist groups, they want everybody to think the way they think. And I think that's the downfall of humanity.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's got their own mind. Everybody's got their own free will, as they say, and
exactly. And the downfall of humanity is people who think that the same like kind should stay with like kind. It's nonsense.
Or they, go ahead.
And that's what I said 2 weeks ago. I think we had this discussion a couple of weeks ago, and I agree with what she just said. I mean, no one should tell someone who they can and can't be with, or who you can and can't marry. To me, it's unethical. I mean, love is just love. You love the person for who they are, not for their religion, not for the color. It's the individual themselves.
I agree, and I think the biggest thing is is just the way people are raised, and that's where there's a big difference. Is if you were raised in a certain way, and you're from New York, and you're Jewish, down south, I don't think they're used to yet accept other religions as much as they do here.
I think that's what Mark was alluding to earlier, in that the younger generation that's from kindergarten to high school and even afterwards, I think they have a different mindset. They think differently than we did than our parents did, and even some of people in our generation. I think the younger people think very differently, and they don't care. They don't care about race, religion, skin color. It's different, and hopefully they're going to be the ones that change. Yeah. That make change that has to happen.
I agree with you with that on the East Coast and the West Coast, but in the Bible Belt where you are living, I don't think it's that accepted yet.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I see it. I work, the industry that I'm in now, I work with a lot of really super young people, and it's very different. It's very, very different, and it's actually pretty cool.
Yeah. Again, I hope so, but I still feel that, like I said, in the Bible Belt, in certain areas.
What are you talking about? I'm in the middle here, or the end.
And I think there's pockets. I think there are pockets of areas where it's not, where the change hasn't been impacted and or is accepted. But I think that we're in a good point of starting to move in the right direction.
I hope so.
And society drives those changes.
Yes, it does, and also society.
So
also keeps.
If the majority is thinking that way, then ultimately the minority will just accept it.
Yeah, but right now, I don't think we're at that point yet. We're getting there in certain pockets, but in a lot of parts of the country, it's just not going to happen yet.
I don't think it's ever going to happen. I think it's just going to be. There'll be a group that will accept, and then because no one's ever. Let's put it this way: in society, everybody is not going to agree. It's just the way it is, and hopefully, in time, maybe. But I don't ever see everybody in the world agreeing on something, especially with what's going on in the world. I mean, there's too much hatred, and it's always been like that.
Yeah, like I said, it will take a long time and a little bit of a miracle for that to happen, I think.
Hey, listen, it goes all... I'm coming in at the tail end, but it goes all the way back to Cain and Abel. It goes back to Esau and his brother... Jacob, when he stole his birthright, there's always going to be jealousies, and it's unfortunate. But and again, I'm coming in at the end, so all I could say is I think I'm agreeing here with Elisa that as much as I would like to see, racism and other things be wiped off the face of the earth, I know we're never going to get to that point because, as I said before, unless you have interracial and interreligious marrying where color lines disappear and everybody worships, God, not calling him or her by a certain name, okay, there's always going to be differences.
It's true. But the other thing is...
take Felix. He's a Pastafarian.
A Pastafarian,
yeah.
That's right. That's a... they believe in the pasta monster. They should be Italians. They love pasta. Now that's being prejudiced. Right now, what I just said. In its own way, no? Would you agree, Ann?
Well, I think you're just being silly.
I know I am, of course I am. But the Pastafarians is a real religion. I don't take it seriously, but I don't understand how anybody can.
And let's put it this way. At this point, your dog makes more sense than Felix.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think dogs are a hell of a lot smarter than we are in a lot of ways.
Yes, they are. They sense things. That's why. I read a study was done
Behind me, and I'm driving.
It's
What?
okay. She's driving.
I said I'm driving, and I see lights. I think there's cops behind me, so I'm going to hang up. I'm not
Okay.
too far from the house. Maybe I'll call back.
Okay,
Okie doke.
good enough. Drive
Be
carefully.
well.
All right. Thanks.
Next time, use a headset when you call.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we don't promote anybody calling in from the car while they're driving unless they're wearing a headset and using it.
I forgot what I wanted to say. Always happens. Oh, well. Oh, I read this week that some college did a study about dogs, and dogs can sense when a person is going to be friendly and when a person is not going to be friendly. You hear people say that, though they don't like dogs. Dogs can sense that.
If you're afraid of them.
If you bend down and play with the dog and give the dog a treat and everything, they know that you're a trusting, loving person. But if you sort of tense up and shy away, they know to stay away from you and I have a friend, my friend's wife is like that. I don't know if something happened when she was a child, but I know, speaking for myself, the first thing, when I got a house, the first thing that I did was get a dog, okay, because I lived in projects my whole life, in city housing, and you weren't allowed to have pets. But when I got married and when we finally bought a house, the first thing we did was go out and, I won't say buy a dog, we adopted a dog, okay, and it became part of our family. And I haven't been without one since.
See, I don't believe in buying dogs. I think that's a crime to do that.
Well, even if you go to a breeder and you're paying, for a certain dog, the bottom line is you are bringing the dog into your house, okay? Most people don't look at it as an expense, it's like when you have a child. To give birth and, Anne, I know you don't have any kids, but, you know what your friends have paid for pregnancies over the years, okay? I'll bet you it costs every bit of $10,000 from start to finish before a woman and a man and wife are finished paying a doctor and the hospital bill, okay, to give birth, for a pregnancy.
Not anymore. Obamacare pays for that now.
Does it?
Yeah, that's one of the benefits. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but they're big on that.
And that was also one thing that insurance companies never gave you good coverage on because they knew that it was always a losing battle. If they pay out too much, people basically, if they want to have a family, they know that they have to spend a certain amount of money. Well, it's the same thing with a pet. You may lay out the money for the pet, but once you have it, you don't even consider how much money the dog cost you.
The whole idea of breeding dogs and stuff like that, I'm against. There are so many dogs right now that are homeless and would make good pets.
Oh, I agree.
And I don't think, and you may disagree with me because you got 3 German Shepherds. I don't know if you bought them or not, or you adopted them. She hung up the phone on me. That's what she did.
She probably did it by mistake because she had us on mute for a while, and she might have pressed the wrong button.
No, she spoke.
Look, if
she spoke after that.
I know that, but I mean, look, if she made a mistake, she'll call us back. If not, it's just you and me.
Which is fine. Because I know how much she loves the dogs.
I know that.
Maybe I insulted her by saying about buying dogs. I don't agree with it.
But I was talking earlier before our guests called in. One of the Twilight Zone episodes that comes to mind is called Escape Clause with David Wayne. And David Wayne plays a hypochondriac who always thinks he's sickly. And he said, why is it that man only lives 60, 70, or maybe 80 years? Why can't he live 100 or 200 years? And then you hear in the background a voice say, why not 500 or 1,000? And he says, yeah, that's right. And the bottom line is he makes a pact with the devil. All right, that for his immortal soul, talking about souls, he is granted immortality and he is impervious to getting hurt. He will not get in, not even the common cold, okay, et cetera, et cetera. And...
Okay, we got Ann back on. Okay, well, hopefully we have her back on anyway.
We'll find out.
Yep.
Hi, Ann.
Hello. Hey.
Hi.
All right, tell us your dog disconnected us.
No, I hit the button.
But you see, that's the perfect out. It's like when you're sitting at the dinner table and the dog is underneath the table, and all of a sudden somebody passes gas and you say it's the dog. Everybody blames the poor dog, know.
No, but I was saying that I don't believe in adopting dogs. I mean, I don't believe in buying dogs. They should adopt them. And then your phone would click. I says, I hope I didn't insult you.
Right.
How do you feel about animals, purchasing them or adopting them? Or
I'm sorry, say that again?
How do you feel about adopting as opposed to purchasing animals?
You know what? It really depends on what you're going to do in the breed. I mean, there's a whole bunch of factors that come into that. It really, it depends on the breed, and there's a lot of. I mean, I would adopt depending on the breed, depending on certain breeds. If you do adopt them, you're just kind of not really sure what the history was, and it creates a problem. So, it's tough. That's a tough call. I would do either, I guess.
I know. Felix's mother had that same problem. She wasn't sure whether to adopt him or just leave him in the pound.
Yeah, in the pound. That's
exactly. I think.
Yeah, but then I bit her so hard, and I told her she better watch it.
I will tell you a very true story. When I was born, I was 10 weeks premature. Okay, and I was not expected to live because back in 1948, medicine wasn't the way it is now. And after I passed a certain threshold, the nurse and the doctor said what saved my life was the fact that I had a pair of strong lungs. as anybody could tell from listening to me when I'm on this show,